best. Thanks, man. Love you. Hey, guys. How's it going? You guys look like you want to nap right now, right in front of me. That's all right. I feel you. Who here has been here more than just this year? Who's an alumni? Awesome. Very cool. Who here has a YouTube channel or has done YouTube stuff? Cool. About half of you. Very cool. So, like Chad said, I am a old 43. That was 5 years ago. Yeah, I'm almost 49. I still skateboard pretty much every day. And in this picture, I was actually running the largest skateboard YouTube channel in the world for about 5 years and helped them get to about 6 million subscribers. But yeah, I've been in marketing and digital marketing only for 25 years now, and in YouTube specific for about 18 years now. My students have a lot of views. I appreciate Austin and Roger and some of the other speakers talking about my services. It's really nice. And in the last 30 days, my students have over 100 million views on YouTube. One of my clients right now is Grant Cardone. And in the last 20 days, he's got 11 million views, which is pretty crazy. So the reason I'm bringing this up is not to brag. The reason I'm bringing it up is to ask, what do these people have that maybe you don't, right? Like, why are they getting so many views and most 99% of the world will never get many views at all? Like, what's going on? If you met Roger or Austin, they're a little crazy, right? I don't know if it's in a good way or a bad way. No, I'm just kidding, Austin. But they are tenacious. They know who their audience is, and they know, what they do. They know what they want. So the most successful YouTubers know their value, their audience, their niche, and they're so tenacious. I see Roger Wakefield going live every single day, like 5 days a week. And most of the time, he has like 50 or 100 people watching him. It's not a lot. I mean, that's a lot for some of us. But for him, with millions of followers, why does he show up 5 days a week to talk to 50 people? That's kind of crazy to me, personally. Like, that's so much effort to talk to 50 people. But this is why he's successful. This is actually why he's done well. This is why Austin does well. He puts out 1 billion pieces of content every single day. And, why do they do that? That's the mindset and the difference. That's why they're successful, and a lot of us aren't, right? Especially on social media. They know their purpose. They know their value. They know their audience, and they're just so tenacious that there's just no way they're going to give up. The difference between one of my students that maybe didn't do well on YouTube and a student that has 10, 20 million subscribers is that mindset. It's like, this is what I do. Here's my audience. I'm not going to give up. I will die trying. And unfortunately, 99% of the world is not going to die trying. And this is where you get into this analysis paralysis. This is where you get into what's my value? What do I do? Oh, maybe I should talk videos about this. If you start wish-washing and you start trying to be everything to everyone, you're going to become nothing to no one. And that is the biggest problem with YouTube. So this is the only slide I'm going to ask you guys to take a picture of if you want. I'm explaining the YouTube algorithm here. In my opinion, this is literally the most important thing you could ever know about YouTube. The algorithm doesn't kill creators' dreams, confusion does. If you don't know your niche and your purpose or your people, views won't mean anything. So here's the slide. Sorry, I teased you. Here's the slide. So this is it. To me, this is the entire algorithm on YouTube. The algorithm isn't a mystery, it's a mirror. It's a mirror into you looking at yourself, right? And a lot of people I've been doing YouTube strategy almost 18 years, and every single year people are like, oh, the algorithm changed. Everything's going to change. No, it's not. Things do change. I mean, they make hundreds of changes to the algorithm every single day, every single week. I mean, obviously things change, but it's not about the algorithm. It's never been about the algorithm in 20 years. It's about you and what your value is. So if you don't know your niche, in my opinion, I think channels that don't focus, that don't have a niche, have almost a 0% chance of success. Zero. If you're The Rock or a famous basketball player or something, sure. If you're famous, you can do whatever you want in life. That's fine. But most of us, if we don't niche down, if we don't focus, if we don't honestly know what our value is to the viewers, we're going to not do well. So if you don't know your niche, you won't find your people. Clicks, we're going to get pretty nerdy. By the way, I don't know if you can tell, but I am a nerd. Clicks are very important. Clicks are titles and thumbnails and intros. If you can't tell a story worth watching, you're not going to show up. If you don't deliver real value, you won't win the likes, comments, and shares. And if your ideas are weak, none of this matters. So in my opinion, even though this might seem silly, this is the YouTube algorithm. Click, watch, niche down, click, watch, like, and ideation. That's really all it is. And there's a lot of YouTube gurus out there that kind of scare you and talk about the algorithm and all this other stuff. None of that matters. It's actually really simple. And if a redneck plumber from Dallas, Texas can absolutely dominate this world, you can too, actually. You really can. It's not some mystery. It's not why them and me. It is, what do you do? Who do you serve? And how are you going to serve them best? In the age of AI, if you're not a true personality, if you don't have, I'm not wearing Austin level pants today, but we probably will all not forget those anytime soon. So you got to be you got to be unique, especially in the age of AI. So a lot of this presentation, I'm going to be talking a lot about humanity, a lot about YouTube stuff, but I'm going to be showing it in a way in how we use AI to make all this work better. About 8 months ago, when I would do a YouTube channel audit for like a big brand, like a web.com or something, it would take me about 120 hours to do. Now that same exact audit is taking me about 20 minutes. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do when I grow up, because this line of work is kind of going away for me, which is really pretty awesome. I'm tired. Been doing this a long time. And we have developed a lot of cool tech to help us get there. So it's still, all the rules still apply. Everything I've been teaching for 17 years still applies. We're just doing it in a way that basically we have a little researching bot. It's not a bot, but we have a researching platform that can help us go figure all this stuff out. So I'm not going to be talking about the really cool AI video stuff. I'm just going to be talking about strategy and real things that get real results. And by the way, this is not a pitch. We have a completely free channel audit. You can go to creatorunlock.com, or you can scan the QR code, and it is probably the most robust channel audit software out there. It's pretty robust. So love for you to do that. And all the slides you're going to see is from the software. We're going to kind of go through every single aspect of niche, click, watch, and like. So this is an example of the software, and these 6 categories are really what we're going to be using AI for today. So the first thing we have to understand is what our niche is. What's really cool about our software is we have a niche creator tool, and we're going to help you go do all the research, who your competitors are, what top podcasts, all this crazy cool stuff. And we're going to help you, just like a business plan. I think of YouTube as a business plan. I think of a YouTube channel exactly like a business. In fact, all of my customers have to have their purpose and messaging and mission and everything laid out like a business plan. And if you don't, I actually won't work with you. And the reason is when people think of a YouTube channel as a creator, they're not thinking at it from a business perspective. They're going to burn out, because if this is a hobby, people can't go to school, work, do this and do that. You really have to be kind of in it. And you don't have to be a YouTube creator. You're just a creator that's providing value to your niche. So what's your driving purpose? What's your passion? What pain points do you solve for your target audience? What's your unique edge over every other one of your competitors? This is what AI is doing, by the way. You basically are putting in what you do, and we are doing the research for you so you can really understand what your edge is based on your data. Who's your target audience? What's the top channel goals? What are your top keywords? Keywords are still really important. A lot of people are really incorrect about this. A lot of people think that keywords don't matter anymore on YouTube, because a lot of the gurus out there are saying, don't focus on keywords. They don't really matter. What you need to really focus on is watch time and clicks and other stuff. That's all cool, but if YouTube doesn't actually know you're a plumber and you never use the word plumber, plumbing, how to plumb, then how is YouTube actually going to know who to serve your videos to? The YouTube algorithm is a recommendation engine. That's essentially all it is. And if people watch plumbing videos, they're going to serve your video to people that watch plumbing videos. If you don't use these topic level keywords in your titles and description and in your videos itself, then YouTube's really not going to know what to do with you. So keywords are not just important, they're as important as they've ever been. And what's maybe not as important, even though Roger Wakefield's #1 video is how to fix a leaky toilet, even though that's like 5 million viewed video, it's really important for that long term for specific terms. But for example, if I was starting a skateboard channel today, I wouldn't start off with how to skateboard, how to kickflip, how to ollie. I wouldn't have those long tail keywords. I would focus on the word skateboard, skateboarding, how to skateboard. So keywords are very important, but you definitely don't want to go over the top anymore. All right. So that was the niche. Now we're going into the clickability, watchability, likability. And what's really cool about using AI is I've put in all my 17 years of knowledge of like what makes a title good, what makes a title bad, what makes a thumbnail good, what makes a thumbnail bad, and we've graded it. We also actually in our software create better titles. And what's really interesting is seeing our software evolve to a point to where these title suggestions and thumbnail suggestions that the AI software is doing is actually better than what I could do doing this 17 years. It's getting pretty crazy. You could do the same type of thing in ChatGPT. You don't have to use our software, but these analysis and what we're looking at are very important. Is the title under 70 characters? Does it give a reason to click? Does it create a curiosity gap? A curiosity gap is a gap in knowledge. So it's interesting, but you don't know the whole story. You don't always want to give people the entire story. You want to make them think to click. Does it hint at a transformation or secret? Does it match your tone of your person or your brand? Does it actually represent the content you're talking about. So these are the nerdy type of things that we're doing scores and calculations on. Here's our AI thumbnail grader. So that's a title grader, thumbnail grader, description grader. We also have script graders. So we have all these really cool tools. So now you don't really have to be in the dark, or you don't have to hire some really fancy YouTube strategist anymore. You can just see what you're doing right and wrong, and it's very powerful. This is the same thing for thumbnails. Thumbnails are very misunderstood, and most people are never going to be good at thumbnails. It's just honest. And what we've done in this software is we've taken the top 12 kind of rules that work. I helped create the vidIQ and TubeBuddy and a lot of the big software out there's thumbnail grading systems. And I've taken all of this knowledge and put it into a very actionable thing. So we grade the thumbnails based on 12 principles, and then we score each principle, and then we're actually giving you feedback for each principle, which is, if you're a designer or if you're making a thumbnail, it's going to be very actionable and insightful. We also come back with the perfect prompt. So if you want to make a AI image based on this prompt, you can just copy and paste and use any of those really cool platforms. We also, in this free audit, have a watchability audit. So we're looking at your hook. Hooks, first 2 or 3 seconds of your videos are actually the most important part of a video. It really is. Because if you're not mentally giving someone a reason to sit on the edge of their seat and watch your video, you've already lost. In the first 30 seconds of a long-form video on YouTube, you must maintain at least 70% watch time. If 70% of the people are still not watching in the first 30 seconds, your channel will probably never go anywhere. And honestly, you're probably just wasting your time. And if you're not willing to work on that, you probably should just quit YouTube. Sounds harsh. But, I mean, let's just be real, like, this is hard. This isn't easy. So what we do here is not only are we grading your hook, but we're also rewriting it for you, giving you suggestions and opinions of how you could improve that hook. If you're not making content, Roger isn't just teaching people plumbing. He's this very charismatic, really sweet, beautiful mustache man that you're just interested in. You're like, why is it 2 a.m. and I'm watching a plumber? You know, like, what's happening here? Well, that magic is the hook. That magic is the curiosity gap. That magic is his personality and his charisma and all the things that make Roger Roger. You're just talking to this guy that's like interesting in person, but when you really think about it, how do we take the recipes? My grandmother makes really good food. I know how she makes it, but I can't make it like her, right? I can't make it like her. What we're trying to do with this software, what we try to do with any AI we work on, is we're trying to make grandma's recipe good. You know, that's what we're trying to do here, and it is possible. And what's really cool is, quite honestly, these types of software are better than some dude that's been doing this since the black and white days. So we can do this with the hooks and the scripts and all kinds of things, which is really interesting. We grade it, we rewrite it for you, and it just simply helps you do what you need to do. And what is that you need to do? You need to create content for your niche that entertains or educates people. That's what your job needs to be, right? And by really breaking down all this nerdy stuff, understanding what titles to make, what thumbnails to make, how to make them, what hooks and scripts and how to edit videos, it's going to really cut down on your ability to have analysis paralysis. What happens to most creators is they try YouTube, they fail, and they go try something else, or they just quit altogether. There's only like less than 1 million channels that are truly successful in the world. And there's billions and billions of, people and channels in the world. And the average video gets less than 200 views. So we see these big channels, we see all these people making all this money, and how do we dissect that? How do we understand why them and not me? And it's really simple. They know who their audience is, they niche down, they win the click. The thumbnail and title is a war of attention. You are in war with any other video out there. If your title and your thumbnail does not have better colors and interest and reasons to click than your competitors, then you're not going to win the war of attention, and no one's going to see your video. When they get to your video, you don't hook them in with a beautiful hook, and you don't give them a reason to watch your video, they're not going to watch your video. And 70+% of views on YouTube come from suggested videos. If YouTube is not suggesting your video, 70% of views are not going to happen for you. So then, okay, you got to know who you are. You got to win the click with your title and thumbnail, and then you actually have to get people to watch your videos, and then you have to give them a reason to like, comment, or share on those videos. So it's a lot, but it's actually not that, it's not hard. It's just complicated. And it's very important to make content good enough. I always say you got to make content good enough to where your grandmother will like it. If you're just making content to make content, a lot of us are in agencies, or we work for another company. We have a task today to make content. You're pretty much already failed your job if you have that mindset. If you have the mindset that I want to actually authentically help someone today, I want to improve their lives, make them laugh, entertain them, and this is my audience, this is what I do, and I'm going to look at the nerdy data, and I'm going to try to get better every week, every day, every month, then you're going to have that mindset of winning. You're going to win because you're so tenacious that you're not allowing failure. What is failure in social media? Getting 10 views? I guarantee you Austin makes some duds right now still to this day, and he's got 660 quadrillion views in the last 5 minutes. Just kidding. Austin lives in Chattanooga with me, so I gotta give him some busts. So Austin, someone that is very successful on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, loses probably every day, probably every week, probably every month. He loses every single day. And it's really hard for people to know the real struggles of success. The real struggles of success is when I met Roger 7 years ago. He was in tears because he thought he was about to lose his business because he was going bankrupt. I mean, we're all humans. Did anyone see the TV show Beast Games? Anyone see that? Anyways, I was on that show, and I got out like the first obstacle. I failed. But Mr. Beast, he really sucked at YouTube for a long time, like 7 years. And he finally got a sponsorship deal when he was a teenager. They gave him like $1,000 or $2,000. He walked outside and he gave that $1,000 or $2,000 to a homeless person. That's what happened to his entire career. That's why he's the most famous YouTuber in the world now, is because he shifted and he moved and changed. Once he saw that giving money away was better for him than keeping it, the rest is history. He'll be the first YouTube channel with 1 billion subscribers, and he's already hit over 300 million subscribers. So it's if you really I've spent some time with him, and you really think about how hard he struggled. He was pretending to go to college and making YouTube videos out of his car, and he was just a person like us. I remember meeting Austin, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago at a conference I owned called Video Marketing World. And Austin was just the dude. He was just a guy. Now he's keynoting around the world, and he's very successful. But how do you go from just being a normal person to living the life you want? You got to know what you want. You got to know who your audience is, and you have to work your butt off. There's no zero like magic bullets in this. There's no, I'm going to click this button and this is going to happen. You just have to have the faith that I can help other people or entertain other people. And if you don't have that belief, go do TikTok. Because the truth is, it's too hard. Even as a business owner, it's too hard to do something and put so much effort in it if you're really not believing in your mission. What's really cool about AI is, it analyzes all this data and it can give you back a lot of great results and a lot of great responses. So we also have suggestions in every single one of our little audits here. Ideation. If your video idea isn't good, that's kind of a problem. One really cool thing about our tool is in the next couple of weeks, we're coming out a tool that will take your exact niche and show a report of the top 100 most viewed videos in the world for your niche. And then we're going to rewrite those titles for you to have different ideations of those ideas. So that's one thing I do for all my customers. One of the first things I do is I show them who they are. I help them define their niche. And then we actually show them the top 100 videos they should go make based on the top 100 most viewed videos in the world. So you're not starting off thinking, oh, I have to reinvent the wheel. You're actually starting off saying, okay, I'm going to go recreate the top 100 most viewed videos in the world. That's a really solid point. One of my channels got 1 million subscribers in 2 years doing this. And, they just put their own flavors to it. So imitating to begin with is really important. And then innovating when you get to like Austin and Rogers levels is just natural. All right. So, yeah, feel free to scan this barcode and you can audit your own channel. We are going to be at the booth for a little while, but definitely think about YouTube not from AI's not going to help you be successful. AI is going to help you in your day-to-day tasks. And one of the reasons I didn't want to show all these new cool video models and all this cool stuff is the truth is, like some of the biggest channels in the world that I work with are using YouTube AI like this. We're not just going to make really cool things, right? We're using it to crunch data, to come up with plans, to understand our competitors better, and to take that work that was taking hundreds of hours a month and making it 20 or 30 hours a month. And that's what I think AI right now is going to do for us. We're going to be able to be more efficient, and I kind of feel like anyone can be at my level at YouTube now, right? Anyone can be a strategist at TikTok or YouTube or Instagram with the robots. But if you think about, AI is going to replace us or AI is going to do this or that, it's not really how it works right now. You need to leverage the data to paint a picture of how you can be successful. So I think that the biggest creators in the world have not even started YouTube yet. A lot of people tell me, I'm probably too old to start. Rogers, I don't know how old Roger is. I'm not going to try to offend the guy, but I'm guessing he's around 60. And he started when he was 55. So excuses are great, but they're not real. A lot of my students are in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and they've literally are making more money doing this now than they ever have their whole lives. So the biggest creators in the history of the world have not even started yet. I promise you that. All right. Thank you, guys.